Hello queens. I'm back at y'all with another client tutorial, and today I'm showing y'all how I created this abstract look. As y'all can see, we're jumping straight into the video. I'm starting this off by cleaning my client's face. Now that her face is all clean, I'm just going to start on her eyebrows. So I'm just brushing them up with the spoolie end of my pencil. And once I have them all brushed out, I'm going to go in and outline them. And to do so, I'm using my Nicka K brow pencil. I like to use the shade black or black brown. I'm outlining both of the brows first just so I can try to get them as even as possible. Now that both of the brows have been outlined, I'm going to start filling in all the sparse areas, and I'm just starting from the back and working my way up to the front. Now that I've reached the very front of her brows, I'm just doing upward little hair-like strokes. And once I have it filled in to my liking, I'm going to go in with the spoolie end of my pencil and use it to blend out her eyebrows. I'm going in with this clear eyelash glue, and I'm using this to lay her brow hairs down in place. So I'm just applying this throughout her brows, and then I'm going over them with the spoolie to mold the hairs down. To clean up her eyebrows, I'm going in with these two Nicka K concealers, and they're in the shades 06 and 11. First, I'm going in with the shade 06, and I'm using it to clean up underneath her arch. If you've watched majority of my other client tutorials, I normally go in with a lighter shade underneath the arch because I love for the arch to be nice and highlighted. But since I was going for like an abstract, very dramatic eyeshadow look for this video, I decided to tone it down just a little bit. As you can see, this color is a little closer to her skin tone. Now for the remainder of the way, I'm just going in with the shade number 11, and I did mix it with a little bit of the shade number 6 just to get a color that was closer to her skin, and I'm using it to clean up the remainder of the way on the top and the bottom of her eyebrows. Now that the eyebrows are nice and clean, I'm going in with my RCMA No Color Powder, and I'm going to be applying this to the front of her brows to lighten them up, and I'm also using it to set the concealer around her eyebrows in place. I like to make sure that the concealer does not move while I'm working on her eyeshadow, so that's why I always go in with this step, y'all. I feel like it's mandatory, and I never like for the eyebrows to look too dark. For an eyeshadow base, I'm taking my e.l.f. Camo Concealer, and it's in the shade Fair Rose, and I'm just applying this all over her lids. Once the base is evenly blended out, we're going to start on the eyeshadow. So I'm taking this pale pink shade from my Morphe 35B palette, and I'm just applying this to the inner corners of her eyes. This color is very light, so I did have to go in and build it up to make sure that it was visible. Now that I have that pink on, I'm taking this Rule Breaker liquid lipstick in the shade Broadway, and I'm using this to map out my shape. I'm basically cutting out the inner corners of her eyes, like if we were doing a cut crease but not cutting the whole eye. Yeah, y'all, that's exactly what we're doing. And once you have your shape mapped out, you just want to kind of drag that brush out and use it to blend out the edges before the liquid lipstick dries. I was so excited to do this look, y'all, and it actually didn't take me as long as I thought it would to execute it. Like, it came out quicker than I expected, which was a good thing in my opinion. I had this look on my mind to do for so long. I can't even tell y'all how long I've been wanting to do this look, and I'm so happy with how it came out. As y'all can see, I've went ahead and cut the other eye. Now I'm going in with a dark brown shade, and I'm using it to set the eyeshadow in place, but also to blend out the edges. And now I'm taking a black shade, and I'm just adding it to the inner corner to add some depth. I'm going back in with that dark brown shade. This comes from my Bperfect Carnival XL palette, and I'm just applying it to the edge of her eyes. Now we're going to be working on the outer edge of the eyeshadow look, and as y'all can see, it kind of looks like a slanted halo eye, and that's exactly how we want it to look. So I'm just going to build up this brown. I'm going back in with the black shade, and I'm just adding it into her crease using this pencil brush, and I'm going to be going over it with my blending brush just to blend it into the brown shade. I'm going in the center of her eye with this light pink eye base from P.Louise. If you don't have this base, you can always go in with a white eyeshadow base and then just put a pink eyeshadow on top of it. But after I have it in the center of her eyes, I'm going in with another pale pink matte eyeshadow, and I'm using it to set the base in place. To top this look off, I'm going to be going in with some pigments and some glitters. So first I'm going in with this whitish pigment. I know I showed y'all 2 pigments and 1 glitter, but I only ended up going in with this white pigment, and I tapped it on top of her eyeshadow. You don't have to go in with an adhesive for the pigment. You can just go directly on the eyeshadow. I decided to go in and line her eyes before I went in with the glitter, just so I can have a cleaner line. So I'm just going in with this black liquid liner, and I'm just going to use it to draw on her wings. If you would like to leave the eyes like this, you can, but y'all know I'm extra. So I'm taking this Fenty white liquid liner, and I'm just gonna make a small accent line on the edge of her wing. Very small, but I feel like the detail was so cute, and I did the other eye off camera. So now I'm just tapping on my Mermaid Scales glitter, and I did go in with an adhesive off camera. I just like to use clear eyelash glue, and I'm tapping it on using a blending brush. Now we're moving on to the face, y'all. So I'm going in with my Pond's moisturizer, and I'm just adding a generous amount of this onto her skin. Yeah, I already know when I'm doing my clients' makeup, I either have to cut on a good movie or some good music. And on this day, we were watching a good movie. I've been picking some good movies out lately, y'all. But yeah, that's what we were looking at. And I'm just going in with this foundation brush, and I'm making sure that the moisturizer is really pressed into her skin. And to prime her face, I'm going in with this Nicka K face primer, and I'm gonna be applying this mainly in her T-zone. I'm going to balance out her skin before we get into the foundation, and to do so, I'm going in with my Nicka K concealer, and I believe it's in the shade number 7. For her foundation, I'm going in with my Maybelline Fit Me foundation, and it's in the shade Spicy Brown. I'm going to highlight her face using my Nicka K concealer in the shade 06. I'm going in with my LA Girl Pro Concealer, and I'm just adding it on top of that Nicka K concealer just to brighten up her highlight. I believe this concealer is in the shade Pure Beige, but if I'm wrong, then I will have the correct shade in the description box down below. I'm going back in with my foundation brush, and I'm using it to blend out the concealer. I'm gonna go in and bronze up her face using my Juvia's Place foundation stick, and I'll have the shade name in the description box down below. I'm just pressing this on her cheekbone using this foundation brush, and once I have it good and pressed on, I'm gonna go in with a small eyeshadow brush, and I'm gonna use it to sculpt out her nose. I'm going in with a triangle puff, and I'm using it to blend out the rest of the concealer underneath her eyes. To set the concealer in place, I'm going in with none other than my Morphe loose powder in the shade Banana Rich. To set the contoured areas of her face, I'm going in with my Black Radiance pressed powder, and it's in the shade Black Coffee. Last but not least, I'm setting the remaining areas of her face using my Fenty loose powder in the shade Hazelnut, and I mixed it with my e.l.f. pressed powder in the shade Dark Deep. Now, if y'all have been keeping up with my YouTube shorts, then y'all already know Morphe has been doing its thing with sending me these packages. So today I'm trying out this blush, and I'm using the shade Wine and Dine. This comes with a cream blush, a powder blush, and like a highlighter tone blush. I'm going in with the powder, and y'all, Look how pigmented this blush is. I wanted a nice berry tone for this look, and that's exactly what I went in with. I had to go in with my foundation brush just to tone it down a little bit, because girl, I should have known, okay? Because Morphe never lets us down when it comes to the pigmentation, but it was beautiful, y'all. I loved it. So now I'm going in with this black gel liner from Nicka K, and I'm using this to line her waterline. As y'all can see, I'm just applying it using this disposable lip wand. I'm going in with this hot pink shade on her lower lash line, and I decided to just smoke this out on the lower lash line and then add like a pastel pink to the inner corner. Now that the under eyes are complete, I'm just going to go ahead and sweep away all of the powder. And I like to dust it away first and then go in with the foundation brush and just make sure that everything is nice and pressed in. If you have dealt with a powder cast and you're trying to figure out ways to resolve that, I feel like this is the best way. Just make sure that you press it in with that foundation brush and then set it in place with your setting spray, and you should be good. Okay, now I'm going in with lashes. I went ahead and cut these to fit her eyes off camera. Y'all already know I like to order my lashes from Shein and AliExpress, and I didn't want to go in with a pair that was too dramatic. I feel like this eyeshadow look is dramatic enough, so I went in with like a short medium type of length pair, but they still are pretty full enough to where you can still see them. I went ahead and highlighted her face and added some mascara to her bottom lashes. So now I'm just outlining her lips using this cream foundation from Ruby Kisses. I'm going in with this pink liquid lipstick and I'm just adding it to the center of her lips. I'm working it in using this disposable lip wand, and then I'm going to go on top of the liquid lipstick with this pale pink lip gloss. I'm going to have her press her lips together to help me blend everything out, and once I have it all blended, we'll be stepping into the grand reveal, so I'm going to let y'all watch. Okay, you ready to see?
Yep. Oh. I do feel like I'm going to prom.
That is dramatic, girl. You know what it kind of reminds me of?
Is this a cat eye?
Yeah.
Hey, I can see an all black fit.
About to be blending in with them kids.
I love it. Period.
Okay, queens, we've made it to the end of the video, and as y'all can see by my client's reaction, this tutorial was another success, y'all. I absolutely love this look, and I think it came out bomb. If you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and make sure that you follow me on Instagram and TikTok. The links will be in the description box down below. Bye bye, queens.